Come on, buddy. Come on. Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Bear, and welcome to another edition of Bear Enterprises Weekly Update. This here's Classic. He was the star of one of the earlier shows, and he wanted to be back. He got in a bit of a scrap here a few weeks ago and got a bit of a hole torn in his neck, and just got over a little bit of homegrown surgery and some staple removage. One of the things I want to talk about today is some of the upcoming qualification. I did rookie qualification procedures that are changing. One of the big ones, as many of you have probably heard, anybody that keeps their finger on the pulse, is that the Iditarod for 2012, which is still quite a ways away, is going to require new rookies, new drivers, to have 750 miles of qualifications. And that's kind of a funny wording. 750 miles of qualifications is kind of implying that they're probably going to, now I don't know this for sure, but that they're probably going to allow some form of junior Iditarod, junior quest mushing background to count as one of the qualifiers. It's not going to apply to most people. So for all practical purposes, you're going to be looking, rookies, 2012 rookies, you're going to be looking at 800 miles of qualification races, and it's going to be broken up with no less than 2 300-mile races. Now I know not all rookies, not the ones who've been competitive elsewhere coming into the Iditarod, but like the true rookies who are just like kind of getting dogs together and just now learning how to run with this idea of running the Iditarod somewhere down the road, is we have a tendency to look at these qualifications as standards, as something meant to keep you out of the race or some sort of burden to place on you. I'll tell you right now, if you want to run the Iditarod with 2012 and you have any problems between now and then coming up with 800 miles of qualifications, between now and then, you're not ready, in my opinion, to run the Iditarod. You should be out seeking to get 5 to 6 to 800 miles of middle distance racing every single year between now and then, in my opinion. Say at least 2 300-mile races, or a 200 and a 300, or do your best to educate yourself. Another thing, and this really applies to the lower 48 rookie, and I think some of the drivers who would like to be, they're veterans and like to be competitive at the Iditarod, is while the races in the lower 48 that are serving as qualifiers and competitive events for us to kind of hone our racing swords and then sort of develop our skills, they're all legitimate events. I mean, I consider the Bear Grease one of the best, most competitive races in the business. It's a very tough race, but there's kind of a fatal flaw in lower 48 racing as it applies to qualifying you to compete, either contest the Iditarod or actually compete at that 9-day level that very few of us have done, is that they're handler races. You conceivably can be qualifying in something like the UP 200 in sort of a technical way, and for instance, you can, as a rookie, can be sleeping in your truck or in a camper while 3 handlers are doing all the maintenance on your team. Make no mistake about this. There's no one going to be out there to hold your hand. There's not going to be this nice trail like you see down here in the lower 48. In fact, you'll be going along and you're going to wonder why they put the trail in some places that they do. Goat paths through the mountains that'll make you wonder why you're a dog musher. Is that there's no one out there to do the work for you. There's no one out there to give you a little shot in the arm as and go, hey, attaboy, you're doing good. There's no one to tell you whether that dog's going to be able to get out of this checkpoint and make it 70 miles the next one, or whether you're going to have to carry it. There's all these different things that makes the Iditarod so unique, difficult, and special, is the fact that that driver standing on those runners, man or woman, is completely 100% responsible for every aspect of what they're trying to accomplish in terms of either finishing the race as a rookie or being competitive at the ultimate, sort of that ultimate end of competition. So just remember, when you're doing these middle distance races and you're trying to learn how to better yourself for the purposes of running the Iditarod one of these days, don't rely on your handlers. Don't just rely on the bare minimums of these races. Get as much racing experience as you can, and live it up to the fullest. Make sure when you get into the Iditarod that you really know what you're doing and you're capable of doing all the work yourself. Okay, well, I'll let you guys go for the week. Just want to remind you, not all good ideas have to be your own. You guys, talk to you next time.